Disclaimer before the video starts. I hate you. Anyways, enjoy the video. I've lived a pretty good life and I hope most of you have as well. However, there's always a point in time where you just can't help but cringe at the thought of it, or think back on how stupid or silly it was. And I'm here to talk about it. That's right. We're talking about middle school. Alright then, let's get started. Hopefully you enjoy. Now, I have my cringe, but that's not going to be for a little later. I'll just talk about my more mild experiences. I'll begin like this. In my school, a lot of people love to run to the cafeteria to get that dry-ass chicken sandwich or the mini calzones and that sweet, succulent orange chicken. God, how I miss it. Anyway, back to it. As I said, a lot of people would love to run, and I was also one of the hefty bastards who ran as well. However, there was always the random guys who thought it was funny to stick their legs out when they saw you running in the hallway and immediately retract when you got too close. I hated these guys with a burning passion. One day, one of the fellas who did it to me the most had full intent to trip me, but by this point I was so fed up with his shit, so I kicked his leg from under him as hard as I could and watched him fall for a bit before immediately going back to running, because that orange chicken was singing the siren song and I was in a trance. Should I have done it? Probably not. Was it worth it? Absolutely. It was awesome seeing him tumble. Now, let's start with the next little story. There was a bomb threat and nothing ended up happening throughout the day. That's all. You see, I was a bit more closed off than most other kids in middle school. Now, I wasn't a complete loner. I still had my group of people I knew from early on in grade school, and I would still interact with my small group of new friends in middle school, but that was mainly it. I didn't try to stand out at all, and I just wanted to stay to myself mainly and keep away from others, unless I was around the homies, of course. However, while I was closed off, I wouldn't just ignore somebody who approached me or said hi. I would of course respond in a kind manner. Because, you see, in middle school, I was more of a nicer kid. I wouldn't talk back or cause trouble willingly. So while I was closed off, people didn't mainly know me as the quiet kid, really. In my school years, I was relatively easy to talk to, and if you approached me, of course, I could start up a conversation with you. Also, it doesn't help that my cousin was one of the more popular kids, so whenever I would walk around minding my own business, people would always say my name and ask how I was doing. It wasn't annoying, it just felt odd that people I'd never talked to would always say, "Hey, how have you been?" or "Yo, what's up?" Now, I wasn't mad or bothered by being known. It was actually kind of fun to have random people reach out to talk to me despite never talking to me before or being in an entirely different grade. However, through this thick skin of mine, something was brewing underneath. Something that was dark. Darker, yet darker. That's right, everyone. I was an Undertale fan. Yeah, well, fuck you too. I had fun making it. Anyways, let's just get on with this shit. Also, I really hope somebody got that Gaster reference. Now, I enjoyed watching the gameplay of Undertale, and I've played the game myself, but I didn't finish it because my first playthrough was a genocide route, and Undyne beat the absolute shit out of me until I lost my human spirit. But god damn it, was it still fun. And her music was one of my favorites throughout the entire game. Like, listen to this shit. Alright, that's enough peek. Let's get back to this now. Honestly, thinking back on it, I wish I chose a different route to start with. Also, side note, Muffet was the one who awakened my love for Spider Women. Originally, there was supposed to be a collage of popping images with Spider Women, but I'm too stupid to figure out how to do that, and a lot of the images looked very odd or lewd. So here's a picture of the second Spider Woman that had helped awaken my love for Arachne. Ooh, look at that. Spider Woman. Surely this is okay, right? We'll see if YouTube makes an example out of me later. Alright, back to it. Anyway, back in middle school, I used Amino, another social media app that was taken down for lack of protection for minors. So I use Amino for my interactions with the fan base, and Amino has a feature that allows you to go to random chat rooms that people would make, and I only joined a few, but my god was it an experience of sorts. Quick side note, even though it's the 15th one for this video, stopping the flow of everything, all the footage I'm using is from my roommate. He allowed me to use it because I didn't have anything in the backlogs to use for footage, so shout out to him. Alright, it's 10:23. I need to hurry up and finish this shit. Alright. Whenever I would join a chat room, I would see a few people actually talking about Undertale and the various verses people made. However, there was also the roleplay chat rooms. And let me tell you what was in it in one word. Sex. That's right, everybody. NSFW roleplay. Now, the roleplay was always a big thing in there, and you could barely escape it. You check the chatting tab, and boom, NSFW chat room. And you could make private chat rooms with a fuck ton of other people. And Amino had a leaderboard feature with popularity points based on how much you logged in, and I was high up on that board. I'm not going to say what number I was because personally I'm ashamed of it, but I will tell you it was in the upper 10s. Because of that, I got invited a lot. Now, I never actually participated in these chat rooms, but at least once every day I was invited to these chat rooms filled with a lot of people more degenerate than me, and they did not shy away from that roleplay. They were going whole hog. They did not care whatsoever. If you wanted to roleplay in the Underlust verse, then everyone was going all in. Then again, if you're roleplaying in the Underlust verse, then you'd be stupid if someone was going to hold back and roleplay like that. Don't search up what Underlust is. Honest to God, you could genuinely go onto R34 and search up furry inflation, and you would still have a lot more fun and enjoyment looking through at least 20 pages of it than looking into 4 minutes worth of the things people were saying and doing in these chat rooms. Saying half of the shit that happened in there would probably put me on a list. What list? I don't fucking know, but I'll be on some list out there. Anyways, I have many more stories and I have much more to say from my experience on Amino, but I'll just leave it at that. I definitely had an experience of sort, and I was lucky enough to somehow not get groomed. Anyway, time to start closing this off. Number 1, can you expect more editing like this? Fuck no! This took forever, and this is due to various personal reasons, many of them being procrastination and actually being so stupid that I can't figure out a tutorial video or simple settings. Maybe I'll try to edit like this in the close future, or hell, maybe even the next video, or at least whenever I decide to get off my ass and make it. But hopefully you all enjoyed listening to this bullshit. If you have any middle school stories you wouldn't mind sharing, then go right ahead. I literally have no room to judge anyways. But with that all said, have a great one, and be careful on the internet, and stay safe.